Hello everyone, this is Sherwin here from TechOS. Very excited, Apple just closed their event literally 5 minutes ago, and this was their 9915 event, and I'm going to go over what Apple just announced. Now, I'm going to dive straight into it, because I want to get this video edited and uploaded for you guys as soon as possible. Anyway, I've got the Safari window open, which Apple have just refreshed, and first thing you'll notice is at the top, we have a new TV section over here. So, obviously this is to sort of reflect some new Apple TV stuff Apple did. And Apple have now got the keynote on the website. If you click watch the keynote, it will come up to this page, and after a while Apple will be putting up the keynote so you can rewatch it, and it will be around on YouTube as well. You'll be able to search it up. But anyway, the next thing that Apple announced was the iPad. I'll do it in order. So the first thing they launched is the iPad Pro. Now, this has been rumoured. It's going to be available in November, as you can see. And essentially, this is a large version of the iPad Air 2. And I'm going to explore it now. Now, if I scroll down, it will let me go through. And it's just telling me about how iPad has done various things over the years. And now the new iPad Air 2, iPad Pro has a 12.9-inch Retina display and nearly double the CPU performance of the iPad Air, and different multi-touch, so to add new features which I'll go into later. And it's just a much larger iPad, and there are lots of different technologies. Now obviously it's got the Retina display, and it has 5.6 million pixels, and this is actually, as a matter of fact, more pixels than you'll find on a 15-inch Retina MacBook Pro, which is very, it's a very good number. The screen quality must be very good on this device. Anyway, so you can edit 4K video with free streams of it, so that is very powerful, this device. So yeah, we've got the A9X chip powering all of this great technology, and it delivers up to 1.8 times the CPU performance of the iPad Air 2's A8X chip, so much faster than before. Obviously it comes with iOS 9, and there's some features for the iPad, obviously slide over and multitask split screening view, which you can check my video on in the top right hand corner of the screen right now. And yeah, so obviously the larger screen takes more advantage of those features. There are more apps for iPad now, so as you can see here, GarageBand, you can actually use, play instruments a lot better. You can edit videos and stuff in iMovie much more efficiently with having more space to move. And there's a new Apple Pencil, which I'll go into more in depth later, which talks about different apps that people can use. Obviously the design is a thing that people have been curious about. This is very slim, it's just 6.9mm thin compared to the 6.1mm on the iPad Air, so it is slightly thicker. However, you do get a lot more for the thickness. Obviously it is also heavier. It is 1.57 pounds, which is actually, as a matter of fact, heavier than the original iPad. However, considering the size of the actual tablet itself and the functionality, I think it is alright having that large weight. But anyway, we've got a new 4-speaker audio, which is something interesting. We've got 4 speakers on the iPad, so one in each corner, and it just gives a much better sound when you're watching videos and listening to music. And now there's some new accessories for the iPad Pro. Now, as you can see, the only thing we didn't reinvent was the alphabet, so that is something nice. There's a new keyboard that Apple have launched, and it looks like this here on the screen. And essentially it allows you to connect it to your iPad and use this new keyboard designed by Apple for your iPad Pro. Now it also doubles as a cover, so it works exactly like the smart cover, and it hooks on to the iPad using a new smart connector, which is a nice way of connecting devices up without having to power the keyboard separately, so that's a very nice feature indeed. And now there's the Apple Pencil. Now, you did hear in the keynote, if you were watching it live, that a few people laughed at the name, but this is it. It's the Apple Pencil. Essentially, what it allows you to do is it's a sort of stylus that people have been, making rumours about, and essentially it adds more capability to the iPad and lets you use the iPad in more ways, especially the fact that we've got a larger display, it does take advantage of this larger display, letting you use a whole new generation of drawing apps and creativity apps. So that's a nice thing. I'm going to obviously look at that in more detail. Touch ID has now been improved, so you can use it for obviously the same things as your iPad Air 2, and you got obviously your FaceTime HD cameras, which have always been there on the iPad. So you've just got the cameras, and the front-facing one has been improved with better low light conditions and backlight settings. There is faster LTE and Wi-Fi connectivity. So obviously, if you use Apple SIM, you get the best connectivity. However, it can connect to fast Wi-Fi and cellular networks for the best performance. Obviously, you've got new smart covers and silicone cases. So this is a change from the leather cases that we saw last year. And yeah, so that's a nice new feature. And obviously we got a picture here looking at the iPad. I'm just going to go through the pricing because this is quite different actually. Here we've got the iPad lineup. So we've got the iPad Mini 2, which is now the baseline entry cheapest iPad you can get. We have the iPad Mini 4 in the gold, silver, space grey. The iPad Mini 2 is available in silver and space grey as it always was. We've got the new iPad Mini 4. Now the iPad Mini 4, Apple really briefly talked about it, and essentially all it is just a mini iPad Air 2. So there's not that much to it. If you're used to the iPad Air, you'll be used to this iPad Mini 4, just a smaller display and the same features. We've got the iPad Air, the iPad Air 2, and we've got the iPad Pro. Now what you'll notice is quite strange that the iPad Mini 2, iPad Air, and iPad Pro actually have the same silver. The other two have a slightly different shade of silver. I'm not sure why that is, but yeah, I'm just going to click. You can see all the different colours. Obviously, the iPad Air and iPad Mini 2 don't come in gold, but that's just how they are. And we obviously got the space grey. Now, I'm hopefully going to be getting my hands on an iPad Air. Sorry, what was it called? An iPad Air Pro. No, sorry, going on wrong with my wording. iPad Pro. I'm going to hopefully be upgrading. I'm not sure whether I'm going to be going for the Wi-Fi only model or the cellular. I'd usually go for the cellular. I always have done. However, I don't really need 128 gigs of storage, but I'll show you that down here. So essentially, we have on the iPad Pro 2 Wi-Fi only models. So we have a 32 gig model and a 128 gig model. They're both Wi-Fi, $799, $949, and the only Wi-Fi and cellular option is the 128 gigabyte model, which, as I said, is a bit strange, but it just gives me a bit of time to think about whether I need to get the cellular or just stick with a Wi-Fi only one. But anyway, we've obviously got the various other tech specs down here, which you can obviously read through, and we just got a picture of all the different iPads in the lineup. But anyway, that's a look at the iPad. Let me just go back, can I? Here we go. Now I'm going to take a look at, what's this? Apple Watch. So Apple have, I'm not going to click on this yet because it's quite simple. Let me just click here. Basically, Apple have just added a few new watches that come with different bands, just to make more customization. I'm not going to go too much into that. It's quite standard. They've added a few more bands, and they've added rose gold and gold to the Apple Watch Sport lineup. So that's a nice addition. Next, Apple spoke about Apple TV. This has been rumoured for a very long time. Obviously, if you watch my video on the what to expect at this event, you would have seen this product featured. Essentially, it's just an upgraded. Sorry, I shouldn't even say that. It's a much more heavily upgraded Apple TV. So the design is slightly bigger, and there's a brand new remote, which I'm going to go through now. So, as we said, there's going to be Siri integration, which, as you can see here, is there. And the Apple TV now has its own app store. So, developers will be able to make apps for the Apple TV specifically, especially games from iOS. They'll be able to move on to the Apple TV. And you've got really cool features, especially the Siri remote, which essentially integrates Siri into the remote. As you can see, we have the Siri button here. I'm not sure if I can make my cursor bigger. Let me see if I can. There you go. We've got a Siri remote there. And new TV actually controls the volume of your remote, of your TV, so that's a nice feature. We got output support, and we got the menu button. And this area here is actually a multi-touch sort of trackpad surface, which lets you navigate through the various menus in the actual TV interface. And yeah, so here it's just describing the touchpad at the top of the remote. And this remote does use Bluetooth, so you don't have to have the pointer, the actual remote pointing directly at the TV. Now, the new Apple TV is going to be coming soon, and it starts at $149. I'm not sure whether they updated it for the this website for the UK site, which is why I'm on the US site. So obviously you'll need to convert these prices to the UK pricing. But anyway, I'm going to go back now, back to the main screen, and I'm going to take a look at the iPhone 6s, which is sort of the main announcement people were expecting. Now, this phone is very different, and I really like it. I'm hopefully going to be upgrading to this from my iPhone 5s, which I've had for almost a couple of years now, so I'm on a 2-year contract, so I'll be upgrading hopefully. And the iPhone 6s brings a lot of new technologies, such as 3D touch, which people were dubbing as Force Touch. However, it's now confirmed to be called 3D touch. And the iPhone 6s has a new taptic engine, like the Apple Watch and the MacBook, to register force presses or 3D presses, and it essentially allows you to do more things with your iPhone. So here, if this animation starts, here you go, replay. It will let you use a feature called peep and then pop. So you can just press down to peep and then press harder to pop, and it will literally just open up the message. So that's a nice feature. I'll go more in depth with all these features in a later video. We've got 12 megapixel pictures and a 4K video recording and live photos. So basically we now got a new 12 megapixel camera, and the iPhone 6s and 6s Plus now shoot 4K video. There's a feature called live photos, which essentially lets your photos come to life, and you've got all these features make a lasting package. And there's a new Retina flash, which essentially, when you're using your front facing camera, which is now 5 megapixels, it lets you have the screen literally flash to act as a flash. So instead of having a flash literally on the front of the screen next to the camera, the whole screen is acted as a flash. And you will have seen that there's a rose gold feature here, colour, which Apple have now introduced. There's obviously an A9 chip in here, which is 70% faster with CPU performance and 90% faster with GPU performance. And yeah, we've just got our figures there, and yeah, so we've got space grey, silver, gold, and now rose gold. Touch ID is now twice as fast, so literally in the demo, like, the person literally touched, as the name suggests, Touch ID, literally touched it and it unlocked. So it seems very fast. I mean, it's already very fast on my iPad Air 2, and so it's going to be very interesting to see how it is in the new iPhones. There's obviously faster LTE and Wi-Fi, so you get improved speeds when you're using those. And this new iPhone comes with iOS 9 as default. The new cases for this iPhone, and some new colour matching docks. So there's gold, silver, rose gold, and space grey docks for your new iPhone 6s. Now you'll be able to pre-order this on the 9th. So just in, how are we on today? Sorry, not the 9th, the 12th. So in 3 days you'll be able to pre-order. I'm just going to visit the models and pricing. So unfortunately, it does start at a 16 gig, configuration, which I kind of was a bit disappointed by. I'd like to have at least even 32, especially considering there's going to be 4K video. But I guess that's something that Apple have decided to stick with. But anyway, I'll be getting the 64GB probably. Anyway, so we got 5 and 6s. You can obviously choose your colour, rose gold, if you want that, which I wouldn't go for. I'd probably go for space grey. In fact, I have a silver 5S. I may go for silver again. I quite like it, but anyway, 16 gigabytes. Obviously, that's quite not that right for me, but anyway. So I'm going to choose a carrier. Obviously, if you're in the UK, you'll have a list of carriers. I think there's E, Orange, not E Orange anymore, E, Vodafone, and O2, which are the carriers on the Apple website. So yeah, that's essentially the iPhone 6s. Now we have the 6s Plus, 6s, 6 Plus, 6, and 5s. The 5s free one, $99, $199, $199, and $299 on on contract. Off contract prices are listed here, so $749, $649, $649, $549, and $450. So you can obviously go and explore the Apple website to find out more. But that is essentially that Apple keynote summed up. Now, we didn't get any word about El Capitan. I think that will come later on. However, iOS 9 will be available on the 16th of September, so quite close, just about a week, and you'll be able to update to iOS 9. But anyway, if you like this video, do give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, do leave them down below, or get in contact with me in any other way using the details at the end of the video and in the description below. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.